Alrighty, guys, welcome to week, I think 5. Let's go to Learning Path. Hop down here, week 5. Okay, this is what you're going to be doing. So now you've been creating animations, so now we need to know how to control those animations. So I'm going to show you how to create buttons that allow you to do all this stuff. Play, pause, resume, reverse, speed up, slow down, seek to a certain point, use progress to go to a certain point in the animation, and then restart. And then what you'll do is you're going to take the 4 animations that you made last week and you're going to add these control buttons to all 4 of them. Now, in one of the animations, you can use HTML buttons like I'm going to show you here. But in the other 3, you're going to need to create your own. So go into Photoshop, Illustrator, doesn't matter to me. Create the play button, the pause button. You'll need to create buttons for these. Like not for all of these here, but you'll need to create a button for play, pause, restart, reverse, speed ups, and slow down. And the other 3. And you will need to create buttons. They need to be separate buttons for each individual. So on one animation, you can have the HTML buttons that I'm going to show you. In the other animation, you'll have a set of these buttons. In the next animation, you'll have another set. And then on the other animation, you'll have another set. So they all need to be separately different. Okay, the button should match the tone, the feel of your word animation. It should match the color scheme. It should just look like they belong in the animation. And then I'm going to show you how to kind of move them around as needed. And then, of course, if there's something you want to do that you're not sure of how to do, you can always email me and I can help you out, help you figure it out. Okay, just don't get these from Google Images or anything. You need to make them. And then make sure they have transparent backgrounds, and you'll probably want to make them a PNG. And I'll show you how to do that. All right, so let's hop into brackets. This is where we were a couple weeks ago. All right, so I made this little animation awake, right? So now I want to create a set of buttons that I can use to pause, play, stop, speed up, and all that stuff, this animation. All right, so I'm going to make that smaller. Here's my code. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to be using a little bit of jQuery. So I got to go grab that. If you're not sure what jQuery is, it's okay. Just Google jQuery Google. Okay, once I show you how to put it in there, I'll tell you what it is. And we're going to go to this hosted libraries, Google developers. Once you get there, come over to the right and hop, cruise over to here to jQuery, click on it. And we're going to grab the 3.x snippet. So just grab this and copy it, Control C or Command C. And then I'm going to come back to my code and I'm just going to throw it up here right underneath this meta tag. It doesn't really matter where you put it, just as long as it's above wherever we start writing the jQuery. So if I started writing jQuery here, I would need to make sure that this that I just put in is above it. And it is, and that's fine. But if I were to start writing jQuery on this line and then I were to put the jQuery statement right here, it wouldn't work because I'd be trying to do jQuery, but I haven't embedded it yet. So jQuery is a JavaScript library. In other words, just a quick and dirty definition is just they've taken a lot of difficult JavaScript things and they've made them easier. So what used to take hundreds of lines of code, they've gone into jQuery, they've written everything for us, and then instead of taking 50 lines of code to do something, it takes maybe 3 or 4 lines. So they've taken a lot of complex things in JavaScript and then they've created little functions and methods that do them, and it just makes a lot of things pretty simple. Okay, but we're not going to do anything too crazy with the jQuery, but we do need to have it in there. All right, so you'll need to make sure that you embed this jQuery library inside of all your animations. Okay, so I'm going to come down here. Here's all my tweening that I've did. I'm going to end that out with the semicolon. And everything I'm going to write is going to be in between, the parentheses here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my timeline and I'm going to pause it. That's just so we can actually see the play work and the pause and all the buttons that we're going to create. All right. Now that I've paused it, we can test that. I mean, it's not going to be anything too amazing here, but okay, now the animation isn't playing. I can refresh here and it doesn't play, so I know the pause is working. So I'm going to head back here and I'm going to actually create my buttons. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do it inside the stage. It doesn't really matter where you put it inside your HTML. I'm going to do it just somewhere inside the stage because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to position it. So I'm just going to put it right here. I'm going to put it inside a div. I'm going to give it a class. I'll just call it navbar. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just start putting in the buttons. And I'm going to give them all IDs. The IDs are really important because that's how we're going to call it with the jQuery and actually do stuff with it. So this one's going to be play button. Okay, and then whatever I put in between these button tags is what the button will say. So I'll just say play. Okay, and I want these all to be on their own line. So I'm going to have a BR there. Now I'm just going to copy and paste this a bunch of times. I don't know, 6 or 7 times, we'll see. Okay, and the next one I have is a pause. So I'm going to call it pause button. Next one is resume. Next one is reverse. So I want to change up these two. So pause, resume, reverse. Okay, I'm going to throw in some more. So this one's speed up, so I'll call it speed up button. The other one is slow down, so I'll call it slow down button. Okay, and then we have the seek button. I'll say seek to 3 seconds. You can kind of have whatever we want that to do. I think then 2 more here. So this one will go to the middle of the animation. So I'll call it middle button. So I'll just say go to middle. And then this is the restart. So restart button. All right, so I created the buttons. Okay, I put them all on their same lines with the break tags. And then I gave them all IDs. And you'll see why we give them IDs in a minute. But it's basically so we can call them with the JavaScript and have them do things. Because if you don't give them these IDs or labels, they're not going to know what to do and they're not going to be able to do anything. All right, and then I put them all inside this div called navbar. All right, so now what I'm going to do is come up here and style this. Well, actually, let's take a look at what we have. Okay, so there's the buttons right here. I want them to be over here on the right-hand side, kind of in the upper right-hand corner. So that's what I'm going to do. Also, I can mess with the widths of all these buttons so they don't look all weird and staggered like that. And we'll go from there. So hop back here. I'm going to say style out navbar. Okay, I'm using the period here because it's a class, so class of navbar. And I'm going to style that out. I'm going to say position fixed. That'll make it so when I scroll up and down on the page, it'll stay there. I want it to be 10 pixels from the top, and I'll have it be 10 pixels from the right. I don't know if I'm really going to need a width. We'll see here in a minute. Okay, let's just keep it like that for now. Okay, so there it is. It's 10 pixels from the top, okay, and 10 from the right. So I've moved it over here. Now I want to actually mess with these buttons and do something with them. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say we're going to style the navbar, and we're going to style all the button tags that are inside of the class of navbar. Okay, so we're telling it what to style. So we're saying go inside the class of navbar, okay, and then style all the buttons, all the button tags that are inside of the class of navbar. That's we're saying there. So I want the width of the buttons to be about 125. Let's see what that does. Okay, so that makes them stagger a little bit better. Okay, the seek to 3 seconds though, I don't want that to be on 2 lines, so I can either make them wider or I can just say kind of seek to 3 secs. And I know that sounded like something bad, you naughty brained people. Don't be naughty. All right, so let me keep everything capitalized here. Okay, so shortening that made it do what I want. I want some space in between these buttons, so I'm going to go over here. I'll say margin top. Let's go margin top of, I don't know, 5 pixels. So that gave a 5 pixel top margin to every one of these buttons, and it kind of separated them out a little bit. And that's good because it'll make it easier to click on them instead of accidentally clicking on something else. Now, right now, when I click, they don't do anything because I haven't put the brain inside these buttons, which is JavaScript. I haven't told them what to do when I click on them. I just have them set up. So I created all the buttons and I gave them all IDs. Now I got to say when this button with this certain ID gets clicked, do something. All right, so that's what we're going to do next inside the JavaScript. So I paused it. Now we're going to start writing the code that's going to control the buttons. Okay, now in jQuery, the way you select something is with this $sign. And what I'm going to select here is going to be inside parentheses, and I'm going to select the play button. Okay, remember, because I gave it an ID of play button and pause button and resume button and so forth. So I'm going to say play button, and you got to have the pound here telling JavaScript that this is an ID. Okay, so this is the ID of play button. Okay, and then we add the method of on, and it needs to know, okay, what's the event that we're listening for? We're listening for the click. So when something clicks the play button, or the element with the ID of play button, which is the play button, when that happens, we're going to run a function. Okay, now what I did there, I did function, I did the parentheses, and then I did a curly bracket because functions, things that are contained inside a function are always in curly brackets. And then this little parenthesis right there matches up with this one. Okay, so play button, when I click it, it's going to run this function, and the function is just what I'm going to define here. And the function is going to be timeline1 play. Okay, and then we're going to close out those 2 statements with semicolons. So timeline1 play. Remember, timeline1 is up here. We define that new timeline up here, and that timeline contains all the animation here. So when I click the play button, when I click it, the play button, it's, I guess I could do single quotes. I think single double would be fine there, but I might as well keep it the same. Right, so when on the click of the play button, it's going to run this function, and the function has inside of it timeline1 play. All right, so let's see if that works. I'll refresh it here, hit play, yay, it's working. Now if it's not, you can hit F12 if you're on a PC on your keyboard, and that'll bring up your debugger. Okay, if you're not on a PC, repent and get on a PC, but if you're on a Mac, I think you can right click and just do inspect, okay, and that'll bring it up as well. And you're looking for the console. You go over to the console. If there's any JavaScript errors, they should show up here. So let's say I forgot on. I actually did this when I first started. I forgot the on there. So when I come back and refresh, it's going to say, whoa, there's an error. There's an unexpected token of a parenthesis. In other words, there's an unexpected parenthesis here on line 106. So I at least kind of know where the issue is. So I can come over here, check out 106, and go, all right, let's see, it has some issue with this. And then it just kind of lets me know kind of where the issue is and where. And then I can go, oh yeah, okay, I forgot the on, save it. Then I come back and kind of refresh. All right, the error's gone. I hit play. Okay, and it works. All right, cool. So let's do the rest of them. Now I'm going to write out the next couple, but I'm going to start copying and pasting here in a minute, which is I usually say is a big no-no, and I'd recommend that you don't do this. But I know this code well enough to where I'm okay to do that. But if you don't feel like you're understanding the code or you don't feel like you're memorizing it yet, keep typing it out. Don't copy and paste. Copy and pasting is a great way to not learn this stuff. All right, so the next one I want to do is the pause button, right? So I come down here. There it is, the ID of the pause button. On the click, run this function. The thing that we want to happen is we want it to pause. So we want the timeline to pause. Pretty simple. So we can save it, head back, refresh, play is working, pause is working. Sweet. And we're going to keep going. I'm going to paste 3 more here. So we got resume, reverse, and speed up. So the resume button. Crap, I already forgot what it was. Reverse. And speed up. All right, so when we click on the resume button, we just want it to resume. Pretty simple. Okay, when we click on the reverse button, we want it to reverse. It's kind of cool. Like GreenSock already has all this stuff built into it. It just already has all these methods built in. So it's pretty slick. Okay, and then the next one, now there is no speed up. That would be pretty cool. It's called time scale. So time scale, and we're going to say 8. And what that 8 means is play 8 times the original speed. So if you want it to play 2 times the original speed, right? You got 2. If you want to do 4, you can do 4. I'm going to put 8 here. You can pick, it doesn't matter, just when I click on the button, I want it to speed up. All right, let's take a look. Let's make sure these work. So we'll refresh here. We don't have any errors or anything, so that's good. So we hit play, pause, resume. Now, of course, the question is, well, what's the difference between resume and play? And I would love to give you an answer, but I don't really see a whole lot of difference. And that's why over here, when I say you have to create your own buttons, I don't have resume in there. Because at least in this case, maybe in other applications or something, the difference would show up. But here it doesn't, because play resumes and resume resumes. So I don't know. I'm sure Google could tell you, but in this video, we're not going to go over that. Okay. So let's check reverse. Oh, there it goes. Cool. Now it's playing backwards. I can still pause and hit resume. And it's kind of cool if I hit, oh, wait, you know what? That might be the difference. Let's check. So let's play it a little bit. So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to hit reverse. And then I hit pause. And then I hit resume. And it keeps playing backwards. If I hit play, it goes forward. There we go. There's the difference. Resume just goes, okay, resume doing what you were doing before. I was going in reverse, so it kept going in reverse. But when I hit play, play is always forward. So I hit reverse, and then if I hit play, it goes back and plays forward. So there you go, people. I would expect a round of applause right now, but this is an online class. So anyways, so hit play, hit speed up. Oh, well, actually, no, we won't. We're going to go back in reverse. All right, so hit play. Let's speed up. Boom, 8. Yeah, that went pretty quick. So that went 8 times the speed. You can hit reverse, and you can see it's still going fast. So it sticks there. When I hit speed up, it's always going that 8 until I tell it to slow down. Or maybe when I hit restart or something, it would restart all that. I'm not sure. Haven't played around with that. But that's how you speed up. All right, let's keep going. do 3 more here. So let's see, we have slow down, seek, middle, and restart. So we're going to go slow down, button, middle, oh, seek goes first. Seek, and then middle. All right, so slow down is the same thing, uses time scale. But if we go 0.5, what this says is go half the speed of the original. So think of it as 50%, or I could say 10%. So that would be really slow, right? So I'm going to go 0.5, which means half the speed of what it was before. Okay, seek is going to use the seek method. Let's see here. What did I put on my button? Seek to 3 seconds. So it's going to go seek 3. And it just knows seek to 3 seconds into the animation. Okay. And then this one is progress 0.5. And what that means is go to the middle of the animation. So half of the animation. If I go 0.75, that would go to 3/4 into the animation. 0.25, that would be 1/4 or 25% into the animation. Okay, this is just a way that you can get to wherever you want inside of it. And basically 0 is the beginning and 1 is the end. Okay. So this is more of kind of a percentage type thing, where this you can actually get into the seconds and tell it exactly where to go. And I'm just going to throw in the last one here. This one's going to be, what is it? Restart. So restart button, and we're going to say restart. All right, so let's take a look. So play, pause, resume, got it, reverse, resume, play, right, sweet. So it's playing, we'll slow it down. Okay, so now it's going half the speed that it was before. We're going to seek to 3 seconds, so now it's going to 3 seconds every time I click that. 3 seconds into the animation, this takes me to the middle of the animation. So if I let it go a little bit, I hit go to middle, it goes back to the middle, and then restart does that, it goes back to the beginning. Now, that's what I was wondering. The restart doesn't reset any speed up or slow down that I have. So if I hit restart, it's still going fast. If I hit slow down and hit restart, it's still going slow. But restart is basically stopping it, taking it back to the beginning and playing it. Okay, so that's it. There you go for the HTML buttons, and that should control your animations. Now, part of the assignment is create your own buttons, right? So this is going to be really simple, but I'm going to show you how to use images as buttons, and that should be enough. That should be all you need to be able to do this. So in Photoshop, I've created this extravagant stop button, okay, that's kind of purple. And so you'll go in here, create your buttons. However, make sure when you're done that you have the checkered. Well, this is in Photoshop. Illustrator might be a little bit different, but this means it's a transparent background. That means there's nothing there. So all I have is just this purple stop button. That's just a rectangle. All right, so I'm going to come over here, File, Save As. I'm going to save it as a PNG. Now in Illustrator, I think you have to export as a PNG. It's a little bit different. Okay, and I've already saved it out, so I'm just going to replace it here. Let's make sure I'm going to save it out to Control Timeline. Okay, because I'm pretty sure that's what I'm doing. Yep. So I'll save it out to my folder where I'm doing everything. We'll hit save. None compression is fine. I'll hit OK. So there it is. So then it's just a matter of putting it wherever I want it to go. I'm just going to put it right underneath this button here. But you can use the CSS that I kind of showed you here to be able to position your nav bar wherever you want it. If you want them to go straight across instead of up and down, like right here I have them vertical. And if you want them to go straight across, just get rid of these BR tags. Okay, and then you can just style it however you want. But I'm just going to throw it in here. So we'll go image source equals stop.png. And just like these buttons, I have to give it an ID. So an ID of, I'll just call it pick button. I don't even know what I want it to do yet because I've already done everything. But the main thing is you throw it in as an image and then you give it an ID, just like we did before. So there it is. Okay, and then I can come down here. And it's just it's the exact same thing. I just go, all right, it's called pick button. And then I'll just keep the restart on there for now. So save it out. So it's really exactly the same thing. All you're doing is instead of creating a button like you are here, you're just putting in an image and you're giving it an ID, and then you're going to use that image as the button. So I hit play. I need a refresh here. So I hit play, hit the little pick thing here, and it restarts. Pretty simple. Now, if you want it to, like if you want it to where I mouse over it, because right now you can't really tell that it's clickable. These, it's obvious because they're buttons, right? They have the little hover thing where it gets the little shadow or it gets a little bit darker around the edges so you can tell you've moused over it. This, you really can't. There's one thing you can do that's kind of cool. I can come in here and say, all right, navbar, all the image tags I'm going to style this way, and you can say cursor. What is it? Oh man, I forgot. Let's see. I think it's pointer. Oh, I gotta go hover. Hold on. So whenever you hover over any of the image tags that are inside of the class of navbar, change the cursor to the pointer. It should be the hand icon. Okay, there you go. And that kind of lets people know like, oh, all right, cool, you can click on that. And so you can click on it and then it goes. So you can do that to make your buttons look a little bit better. Now, if you are more advanced with your images and your coding abilities and such, do as much as you want to do here. If you want to make rollover buttons, go for it. I'm not requiring any of that. I mean, these are your portfolio items, right? So if you want to get jobs in this industry, the better your stuff looks, the better it functions, the better chance you guys are going to have to get jobs in this stuff. So take time to make this as good as possible. Make these buttons look good. That's really all I can tell you. But just knowing to be able to animate with JavaScript like this is pretty slick, pretty cool, and it'll be some good stuff to be able to have in your portfolio. Okay. Anyways, any questions? Let me know, guys. But this should be everything you need for the assignment. Okay. This is due next week, and if you have any questions, let me know. We'll see ya.